Am I the a-hole for laughing in my sister-in-law's face when she DNA tested my daughter? I, 30 male, have a daughter who is 6. I am not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relation between us. I was friends with her mother for most all of my childhood. We were never involved romantically and were always just friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her 25-year-old husband. When my daughter was a newborn, about 3 months technically, both her mother and father were killed. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was workplace shooting. A friend and her husband had worked in the same building and were both killed. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in. My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter biologically speaking. My daughter, I'll call Lily for the post, also knows that she's adopted. I never really hid the fact that she was adopted. She knows her parents are gone and were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she's older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological dad. Most people assume that I'm her bio dad and that she just took after her mom. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now. A few weeks ago, we were all meeting up at my parents' house, and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained that she was Lily's mother. Sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess didn't know that she had been married or that Lily is not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. My sister-in-law got a DNA test done on my daughter behind my back. She used my brother's DNA for the test. And when it came back that they weren't related, she knew that meant me and Lily weren't related. She came up to me with the results and waved them in my face, saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. She said this to me in front of my daughter. I just stared at her for a while before bursting out laughing at this. I told her I knew Lily wasn't my biological daughter and that this thing called adoption exists. Her face went red and she stormed off. My brother is mad I embarrassed his fiancée, but I said she embarrassed herself by DNA testing a kid that isn't hers and then parading the results up to me. What did she want me to do? What was her goal with this? Did she want me to break down and abandon my daughter? My brother said she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an a-hole. I don't feel like the a-hole, especially considering my sister-in-law was the one who stuck her nose where it doesn't belong. I'm asking for Reddit opinions, mostly just for validation. So was I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. Did she not understand that the photo she saw was of the dead woman and her husband? Did she assume you were somehow married to the dead woman? Aren't you presently married to your very much alive wife? Literally, all this could have been avoided if she asked, or if you shared. Those are my daughter's bio parents, who sadly passed away. We were good friends, so I adopted their daughter. You shouldn't have to tell people things or correct them every time, but it can help when you do. I can see how she assumed that we were together. In the picture, I had my arm around her shoulders. This was before my friend was married to her husband. At the time that picture was taken, they were just friends. Not the a-hole. She wanted to stir some stuff up. That's a heck of a lot of effort to help. Also, I'd be mad about how she got Lily's DNA to do this. It didn't go the way she thought it would, so she got mad. Your brother is just trying to side with his soon-to-be wife. Also be ticked she revealed the truth in front of Lily. She deliberately tried to hurt the child. That's what get me the most. What if Lily hadn't known she was adopted? Heck, what if Lily had been conceived with a sperm donor? There are so many reasons that this was none of that woman's business, and she stuck her nose into it in the worst way possible by waving the results around in front of people. She could have talked to her fiancé first, but must not have because Opie says his siblings know she's adopted. Instead of his brother being mad at Opie, he should be mad as heck at his fiancé. This would also ruin all credibility that woman has with me for anything. Anytime she brings something up, I would from now forward think she's being aforementioned drama cauldron or just making up stories she's decided must be shared as the gospel truth. I need to add this. She did this in front of your daughter to maximize the damage she thought she was exposing. That is straight up evil. OP is the least not the a-hole ever. Fiancé must be very young and still in high school mentality, but with adult resources. Who bring information like this up to everyone? She wanted a scene and she got one. High school mentality but with adult resources. This is a great phrase. I'm glad I learned this one today. Now for the first update. My sister-in-law ended up coming to my house and apologizing, as well as telling me the full story. My brother put her up to the DNA test. When I first adopted Lily, my brother, for some reason, believed that Lily was my bio daughter. He thought that me and Lily's mom were together and just weren't telling anyone. He believes that when she got pregnant, Lily's mom told me that Lily was mine, and that she was going to just say that it was her husband's, and I went along with it because I didn't really want kids. Sister-in-law was under the impression I believed I was Lily's bio dad. She saw the picture of Lily's mom and I, and after asking for clarification on who she was, assumed we were together in it, and then got suspicious when she saw that the other guy in the picture, Lily's actual bio dad, looked a lot like Lily. I also want to clarify, I didn't tell her that Lily's bio dad was in the picture because she had specifically pointed to Lily's mom, and I assumed she knew that Lily was adopted. I didn't know my brother had been telling her lies for nearly 2 years. She got the DNA test out of her own suspicions, and my brother helped her with it because he thought it would reveal that I was actually Lily's bio dad. He manipulated her into thinking that it would clear the air of suspicion, when really, he was just trying to prove that I was really Lily's bio dad and lying about the reasons for adoption. Well, of course the results proved I wasn't Lily's bio dad, and my brother was wrong. My brother felt too embarrassed to confess to his fiancée that he had lied about the circumstances, which is why sister-in-law confronted me with the results. My sister-in-law also apologized for showing me the results in front of my daughter. She told me that her mom had an affair and cheated on her father, got pregnant with another man's kid, and had let her father believe the kid was his. Her father was devastated by this when he found out, and she grew very resentful of women who do that to their spouses. She had wanted to sit me down and talk to me about it with my daughter, but when she saw me with my daughter, she got angry thinking I was being led on to believe I was raising my daughter when I was actually raising another man's kid, and she ended up exploding and immediately waved the results in my face. My sister-in-law does feel very guilty, and she's angry at my brother for lying to her. I'm not angry at her for doing the test because she thought she was doing the right thing. I also forgave her for the way she told me about the results because clearly affairs are a sensitive subject for her. And I can understand why she would have exploded like that. I'm pretty sure she plans to break up with my brother now, and I don't blame her. When I called and asked my brother about this, he admitted it. When I asked why he would think this, he said that he couldn't think of a reason why a man who had been against having kids at a time would willingly adopt a baby without having a blood connection to it. He told sister-in-law that I was Lily's bio dad and was aware of the fact. He took it a step further and said that me and Lily's mom were together at the time of Lily's conception. Both me and my parents are going low contact with my brother for a while now. I know I will forgive my brother eventually, but I can't do that right now. He believed I was low enough to have an affair with a married woman, get her pregnant, take no responsibility, allow her to pass off the kid as another man's, and then only take responsibility because her mom died. Both your brother and sister-in-law are getting off too lightly. He butted into your family and lied to his wife. And sensitive issue or not, she still violated your daughter's privacy, then called her an affair child derisively in front of her. Yeah, for real. His daughter is hurt by this, not Opie. Opie has every right to slap his brother at Christmas. Slap and press charges, because they did not have authorization from the minor's parent to harvest the minor's DNA. Opie, your a-hole brother called your child it. How in the heck is this forgivable? Why just low contact? Some people were saying I should sue and/or press charges on her. I don't want to do that. She was manipulated into doing this. And I don't want to deal with the hassle. I honestly just want to put this whole thing behind me and move on. When I asked why he would think this, he said that he couldn't think of a reason why a man who had been against having kids at a time would willingly adopt a baby without having a blood connection to it. Your brother really showing his whole ass here. Your brother was both a terrible sibling and partner. He riled up his fiancée based on her trauma in order to enlist her to help in deceiving you. Awful. I really want to stress this point. Took the words right out of my mouth. I'm not mad at my sister-in-law because I know she was manipulated into doing this by my brother. I wish more people could understand that. You're a bigger person than I am. Everything is on your brother except for the crude announcement in front of the 6-year-old. You're all Lily has a parent. Your smooth reaction is the only thing that stopped sister-in-law's actions from being devastating. Second update. Some people were wondering what happened with my brother and sister-in-law. Well, she dumped him. They tried to make it work, but that only lasted a few days and she ended up giving him the ring back. My brother got faced drunk on my front lawn in the middle of the night. I was angry because Lily had school the next morning and this woke her up. My brother was yelling insults to both me and my daughter. We called police and he spent the night in jail for drunken disturbance. I believe the official charge was something like that. I sure as heck pressed charges because he was saying some borderline threatening statements to me and my daughter. I don't think it's enough to qualify for a restraining order, but if it is, I'll get a temporary one. On a more positive note, Lily is doing well. She's getting straight A's in every subject and is excited about her first ever science project. She's been talking my ear off about it. Send help. Lol. Last story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my son out of our house? So here's the deal. My 23-year-old son got lucky with some money, about $200,000 from a windfall, and since then he's been coasting. He doesn't have a job, doesn't even try to get one, and worst of all, refuses to contribute to anything around the house. We're talking bills, groceries, even basic stuff like helping with chores. He just sits around all day playing video games or hanging out with his friends, and anytime I bring up the idea of pitching in, he just brushes me off with some excuse about how he's figuring things out. I've given him more than enough chances to step up. I ask him to at least pay some rent or cover his own food expenses, but he straight up refused. I'm not asking for much, just a little bit of responsibility, since he's living under my roof rent-free. I try to have a calm conversation about how things need to change, but he got defensive, saying that it's his money and he can do what he wants with it. I don't want to sound greedy, but it's not fair that I'm still paying for everything while he's sitting on a small fortune. After months of this back and forth, I finally told him he needed to start contributing or find somewhere else to live. He thought I was bluffing, but when he still refused, I packed up his stuff and told him to go. Now he's crashing at a friend's place and telling everyone I'm being unreasonable and unsupportive. Some family members are saying I should have just let it go, since he's young and has money, but I feel like he's taking advantage of me. I just want him to act like an adult and not mooch off me forever. So am I the a-hole for kicking him out? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your son is taking advantage of you. He would have continued. Sometimes you gotta baby bird kids out of house. He's 23. He's not a child. He's young, but if he thinks he's adult enough to stiff his landlord, he deserves the wake-up call. It's his money. He can spend it on what he wants. If he wants to sleep on couches and have no home, but have $200 in the bank, he's an adult. Let him. He will figure it out, but he's gonna figure it out on his time. No reason to continue wasting yours while he catches up to reality. I would have booted him, and as my mom always said and as I tell my stepkids, I'm your parent and I will always love you no matter what. But sometimes I don't like who you choose to be. My mom tells all of us the same thing. Hers is, I love you but I don't like you right now. This was literally part of my vows with my husband. I vowed to always love him, as love is an active choice. I knew there would be times I wouldn't like him, and those are rare, but they happen. You are not the a-hole. Your son is an adult and needs to take responsibility. You were more than generous to allow him to live rent-free and contribute nothing. It's your house and your rules, and he needs to respect that. I've seen more 23-year-olds than I care to admit display impeccable and yet radical decision-making abilities. He shouldn't be any different, and anyone trying to steer him towards the direction of that possibility isn't an a-hole. Not a-hole. You did not kick out somebody who was going to be broke and homeless. He has the financial means to take care of himself. He is a whole grown-up now, and he can provide for himself. It is not your job to endlessly cover his living expenses while he has fun money. The money will run out, and when it does, it would encourage you to not let him move back in. He has more than enough funds to start and maintain his adult life while he finds himself.